Hi everyone. I'm just making this short video in Camtasia to help everyone have a reference point for the blogging assignment and especially to help with the technical end. But I will do a little brief sort of intro to the assignment just as I have already done in class and then jump into the technical end so people have a sort of step-by-step thing they can refer to in the future. So for most people it's pretty easy, but it always helps to have a helping hand. So the blog assignment is pretty exciting. It's about creating a role for the educator in technology mediated environments. And I was really excited. The summer before last, I used blogs for the first time in a really meaningful way, even though they're pretty old school technology at this point. And it was so inspiring to see how involved the students were, how engaged we all were, and there's just a nice way, though, they've become less primitive and the commenting features are super slick at this point, and they allow you to comment on each other's and read each other's blogs much more easily, and there's just a lot of aspects of how nice they've become, and they also still allow students and people to have sort of their individual voice. A blog, as we already said, is, has usually dated entries. So it dates your entries as you go, almost like an online journal. In this case, we'll be focusing on exploring ideas as we each develop our own metaphor for the role of the educator in technology-mediated environments. And as I've already said, it's both a scholarly exercise and a sort of social collaborative exercise. So I hope that people really enjoy using different forms of media. Although it's relatively a text-based environment, blogging, there's lots of ways you can bring in media and art, and some people are very artistic in the ways they do it and use a lot of images that really express themselves, and other people, it's very, very text-based. For all of you, you need to incorporate some scholarly references, things we've read in the class and that I've posted online, and other things that you may have read in other courses that come in and synthesize would be great. But at the same time, you should be exploring and creating and building ideas and feeling much more free than you would in sort of a finished essay. It's only at the end of the blog assignment that the last entry or two will be very much sort of presenting your blog and writing a critical analysis of its limitations and strengths. But most of the entries will be more you developing your ideas, and you may even change the metaphor you've chosen and be like, oh, I don't really like that one. So I'll just remind you where I use WordPress.com. I think we all should, just because it makes it so much easier to share. And mine is at truthislivednottaught.wordpress.com. This is the one I made in the class when it was a small group, and I built my metaphor along with them, my graduate students in that course. And my first entry is more just generally about the assignment and metaphors in general and so forth. But in my first real blog entry about my metaphor is fragments, role of the educator in technology-mediated environments. And here there's, I'm writing ideas, I'm brainstorming, I haven't yet chosen, and I sort of had two core ideas that were competing for what I would, bring up. And I think one of my metaphors was like a dungeon master, I think. And one of them was more, a leader in a post-apocalyptic world. I think those are the two that were fighting it out. And I went on and kept exploring. I drew on Dewey, of course, Vygotsky, some of the greats, and also heroes and The Walking Dead. And I really got into using those as ways to express my point about sort of leadership um, in a post-apocalyptic world and what happens, and how the role of the educator is like a leader. It's similar to being a leader in that kind of environment. So near the end, I actually decided to really present my metaphor. So I think that's here. It's a little bit long, but leader in an apocalyptic world, and I explain, where I've come to in my thinking. So some themes that came up may not come up at that point because you've discarded them, but this is when you present sort of, this is my final metaphor. And then I wrote a final little critical analysis of, its strengths and limitations, because metaphors are tools and to, ways to help us think and build ideas, but they're not actually able to represent everything we think about something. So I think my metaphor was very weak on sort of the expertise end of things, and I tried to think about that and point out that was its weakness. So each one of you will be creating a blog like this one, and you'll be doing it in WordPress.com. So I'm going to make a little shift here to the technical end of things, and we'll actually look at how to log in and how to actually do this sort of technical end of it. And if you have no problem with that, you don't need to watch the rest of the video, but I think many people will find it useful just to be led through step by step. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to WordPress.com. I already have an account, but I'm going to use a fake email. Well, not a fake email, but I have to get out of here. I want to log out of here so that I can show you what it'll look like for you. I think I'll just quit here and then come back here, and this is going to make it easier. So WordPress.com, everyone goes there. Okay, create your new website for free. So I'm going to say create websites, and right away it makes me choose a theme. Some of you may want different themes. You can actually skip this step, so let's skip it for now. Skip. I'm going to go right here. Now I have to choose a name. So this can be the name for your blog, or it could be a little more general than that, because you might end up with creating more than one blog. But for example, I could make up, just something really simple like metaphor of educator, technology, mediated. It's a little long, but just to be simple. And it says sure, and I'm going to go select. And free for life, so I want that one. My email address, so I created one in Gmail so that I can show you, because it recognizes every single email I have. Here, I think this is my new one, Eva B. Bishops at gmail.com. Choose a username. So I'll be Eva B. Bishops and choose a password. Testing blogging. Okay. So I'm going to create blogging. I'm actually going to call it blogging metaphor. Okay. Create my account. So this is how you'll do it. You'll have to give it an email address and choose a username and choose a password. So creating my account. Almost done. Adding your domain. Free plan selected. Yes. Okay. So now it says I've successfully signed up, but this is important. You have to verify your email, or it won't actually acknowledge that you that you can do this. So I think I've done that now. Okay, so customize your site, select a theme. Oh, here we go. So it's letting me select a theme. There's a lot of different choices that it brings. I'm going to go under blog. These are more the traditional ones. Some of them have more image-based or whatever. I really want everyone to, some of them cost money too, notice that, but I want people to use one that's just really straightforward so we can actually see the dates. Some of them are really complex because they're not actually they're a little bit more like blog on steroids, they have many links on different pieces, and then they're almost like separate blogs. But the tradition is you go to a site and the entries are there, and you might have to go older entries, but it's just there kind of where you scroll up and down. So support is a pretty good one for that, because it's really just basic and shows you. So that's the one I'm going to choose for now. Activate. Okay. So I'm going to go to manage my site. So here I am, and this is like my new site, and I can I can go here. Can I actually... Oh, and keep using it's going to make me validate it, right? So I have to go in and validate my email before I can keep showing you. Great. So what I need to do is just actually validate my email address, which I'm going to be able to do now by simply clicking. I'm going to need to go into my email. It makes you log into your account, and from where you told them your email is, and you actually have to click on the email they send you. If you don't do that, you can't post. So they let me skip it, but they're actually not posting. They're not going to let me post. So now I need to verify that this is what I want. It's claiming that I can do that right here. Great. Okay, now what I did is I verified my email, and now it should understand that. So it should let me do whatever I want. Okay, here I am. So it shows you, this is an interesting place that lets you sort of see, you can look at your stats when people who are really into blogging keep track of how many views they've had and all these things, and you can configure it in various different ways. But in general, you really don't have to do much in order to just simply start. So here I am, and this is my new, the thing I called it was metaphor of educator technology mediated. Very awkward, but that's the site I'm at. And in order for other people to see it, they go to this very site, metaphor of educator technology mediated.wordpress.com. And here I am, and I'm ready to publish my first post. So I go right up to that top button there, and that's going to be my post, and I can call it brainstorming ideas. So many people, you might want to start off playing with like 2 main ideas of a metaphor to explore. And so then you can start writing your message, you know, and one idea, the dungeon master was the one I never really went very far with. And the second idea, kind of leader in post-apocalyptic world. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Post-apocalyptic world. Okay. And then you write, and you can save your draft, and that's really great. So you can actually save it and then return, or you can preview it, and then you see what people will see before you lead it, before you post it. I'm obviously just playing around here, but I just want to see what it looks like. So, you know, I'm looking at it, and it seems great. I'm going to go publish. Now, obviously, that's not how you'll do it. You'll edit it and so forth, but I just want you to see. So now I'm viewing the post. And there you go. So 2 main ideas of a metaphor to explore. And here, other people can leave a reply. And I'm not going to reply on my own, but someone can reply and leave it. So that was me successfully creating this blog, which is what each of you needs to do. But you won't have an account in WordPress.com, so you'll need to do that. You'll need to verify your email before you're allowed to actually post on the site. There are more complex technical details to get into. You can start looking into, when you go to my site, for example, you can click and follow it. And what that means is that in your reader, you're able to see like sites that you're following. So this is not my real WordPress.com that I'm in, so it's not showing me all my sites, but it'll bring them all in. I actually find it a little confusing when I'm teaching, because so many come in, and it's easier for me to just actually go to people's blogs and read them, you know, rather than try and keep track of my numerous blogs. But for many of you, it'll be easier to just join like and follow 3 or 4 people and their blogs, and then you can keep track of it that way and comment. We are all going to comment on a few blogs within our class discussions group, but I just want to leave it a little flexible for people to sort of choose. I mean, it's a little more authentic how blogging works, and you know, you can kind of choose different blogs. We'll all post our blog links in our Moodle site, and then from there people can kind of check out each other's within the class discussions group that we're already in, group A and B, and you know, just follow a few of them. But to begin, you just need to start your own and see how it works. I'm gonna go, oh yeah, this is my reader, but here it says my site, so I can click back to my actual like metaphor here, my actual site, and um, go over to blog posts if I want, and all sorts of different ways to play around with it. That's my plan. I can view site, and this is the site. So you can start playing around with the buttons in there, and don't get panicked if you get lost. You know, sometimes the buttons are hard to find. This is the add a post button, so that's, you know, really, really relevant. And it's bringing me right there, but I'm not going to do it that way. Oops, sorry, I just dropped this completely out. Here, I'm going to take you back actually to my actual site. So this is where I really live. Here's my reader. Oh no, I'm actually not in, I'm still logged into the wrong site. That's right, it thinks I'm this person. So it's just letting me go. Right, because if I go to truth is lived, not taught, oh yeah, then I can show you how to follow. Here I am. I guess I'm not yet a follower of this blog because it's my blog, but I'm not me. So here, follow, click. New posts from this site will now appear in your reader. Now there won't be any new posts because it's a dead blog, but that's how it works. And then they'll all come into this space, and you can just log into your own account and not actually go off to look at other people's, or you can do what, you know, sometimes I do, which is just, you know, go and follow the link directly and find the blogs that I'm interested in, and then I read them. But there, I think that's the main technical issues that I wanted to talk about to help people get going. And I would like to remind people it's better not to make your blog private while we're in the class. It's confusing for other people. It involves using passwords, and it's not as if these are really private, but at the end of the course, you can make it private. But I'd appreciate it if people just sort of left it the way it is because it's easier for all of us. I hope this little video helped clarify a few details about how to get into WordPress.com, and we can talk about more technical. I can make a second, more advanced video if people want some more technical help, but I think this should help get people going. But we will discuss this further in class, and I'll be able to help people one-on-one who are struggling if you're having technical issues. Obviously, asking each other is always a great way to get through technical problems, but so is asking me once you sort of exhausted the talking to your friend that you know in the class, and we should be able to easily get through this, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll see you soon. Have a great evening. Bye.